So today I'll be swatching the Essie Summer 2017 collection, and I have all 6 colors. So let's just get right into it. The first one is Sweet Souffle, which is a creamy white polish with reflecting gold shimmers in it. The formula looks good, but it's a little thin for me, and it kind of went into my cuticles a little. But I like it. It looks almost pearlescent. There's one coat of Sweet Souffle. Then I'm going in with a thin second coat. You can get away with 2, but I think I would prefer 3 coats. It's leaving a bit of a streak now, and I feel that you'll need to keep a thicker first coat to then build the second and third coat lightly, because then you'll get that streak like on my index finger. There's 2 coats, but I'm doing a third just so you can see full opacity for Sweet Souffle. There's 3 coats of Sweet Souffle. The next one is Blue La La. This is a cream light baby blue. It's kind of on the thin side. I now see that the Sweet Souffle formula from earlier is a little thicker than this one, so it's actually very thin. And I see a couple streaks, but it's still okay. There's one coat of Blue La La. Going in on the second coat, and there I needed a little bit more on my brush. I like this one. It's a true color, so it doesn't have any shimmer in it, and it reached full opacity in 2 coats. There's 2 coats of Blue La La. The next one is Baguette Muna, which is a lilac-y pinky purple, and it's almost opaque in 1 coat, which is pretty awesome. It's self-leveling, so you can see that as it dries, it fills in the streaks that the brush leaves behind, if that makes sense. And it also has no shimmer. There's 1 coat of Baguette Minot. The formula is great, but we're going to go ahead and touch up with a second coat. And that cuticle on the index finger was my fault, so totally ignore that. It's fully opaque in 2 coats. Now here's the most extravagant of the collection, called Sil-Vous. This is a lustre, kind of micro glittery pinky purple that resembles the undertone of Baguette Minot in the pinky purple sense. It's a beautiful color with a great formula that isn't too chunky, which is what usually happens with some other glitters. This is very fine and covers well, but I can still see the smile line, especially on my index finger. So we're going in with a second coat. I also noticed that it looked like it needed a lot on the brush, like I barely wiped off any polish to get it to cover. So this is a pretty heavy-handed polish. And I'll let you know how it removes because we all know how much of a pain it is to take off glitter. I don't see streaks on the brush, so this is an evenly distributed 2 coats of Sil-Vous. So Sil-Vous came off pretty well, not as bad as other glitters, but there were still little pieces of micro glitter that might, there probably still are a few there. The color on my other hand is LA Color Seafoam, just if anyone cares. But anyways, the next one is Fondant of You, a coral orange with a gold undertone shimmer. The formula feels good and has a thickness that I would prefer in polishes, so it levels pretty well also. There's 1 coat of Fondant of You. I'm gonna go in with a second coat, and it covered very well. I don't see it drying as glossy as the previous polishes. I wouldn't really call it a satin finish, but it's definitely not on the glossy side. There's 2 coats of Fondant of You. Last but not least is Eclair My Love, which is a bright red, and wow, it has impeccable coverage. Granted, it is red. I packed it on the index finger to see if I could get away with one coat, and I could if I wanted to, but I'm gonna put a second coat afterwards anyways. It's a classic red that looks very American. I could see myself using this for like 4th of July stuff. Actually, the first two fingers were thick coats, and I thinned it out at the end, but it was still just so pigmented, which then has its consequences because the pigmented reds stain, and this one did leave a bit of a mark, but it's not too bad for a red. So there is two coats of Eclair My Love. So now for a comparison and more in-depth review. Here's the first one that we tried, Sweet Souffle, and I found that it took a little bit longer to dry than I'd like, but whatever. I don't have anything to compare it to in my collection because it's more off-white than true white, and it has that gold shimmer undertone, so that iridescent factor is pretty unique. I mean, mind you, I don't have as big as a collection of everyone else, but I buy this with all my own money, so I vouch for the uniqueness. I know OPI has one that could be close, but it doesn't have that shimmer reflection, and I think it's called Funny Bunny. But here's another OPI that the bottles look pretty similar. This is So Many Clowns, So Little Time, but it's like ridiculously thin, so don't even bother. The next is Blue La La, and although polish dries so weird and disgusting on Swatch sticks, it was very glossy on my fingers and I really, really liked it. Some that are close are these two, but as you can see, they take 3 coats to reach full opacity, while Blue La La doesn't. It's only 2 coats. This one is Breezy Blue from Sally Hansen, and this one is Hint of Heaven from Anise. Now, Anise is not easy to find, at least not for me. I think I got it like in DSW or something while I was checking out, and I was just like, oh, that's a nice color. But I can't even find Anise on social media. Now, if I'm moving around a lot, it's because my swatch sticks are in order on a ring, and I was too lazy to take them out one by one, so I'm sorry. Bear with me. Breezy Blue is a little bit of a thinner formula and it has some shimmer in it, so it is kind of iridescent, while Blue La La is a flat cream. Then it was Baguette Muna, and here are the two that I'm comparing it to. Obviously, this one on the far left is much, much darker, but I grabbed it anyways because the formula was very similar. It's China Glaze Retreat Yourself, and the one in the middle is Sally Hansen's Lacy Lilac. This was all 2 coats, and you can really appreciate Essie's pink in that Baguette Me Not since the other two are truly purple. Here is Sil-Vous, and I don't have anything like it, but what I explained earlier about luster polishes is their brush strokes. This is OPI with a nice finish, and it doesn't pick up well on camera, number one, and number two, swatch sticks will always be easier because you don't have to deal with cuticles and stuff, and the brush always stays straight all the way down the stick, when the contour of a natural nail would be pretty different. But there is a line in luster polishes, and not in Sil-Vous. This crease here in the polish, by the way, is just that I grabbed a defective stick, so don't pay attention to that. The actual color is pretty amazing. Then Fondant of You. I don't carry oranges very much because I don't wear them, and when I was looking at it on my nail, I was like, you know what, this kind of looks like a grandma orange, but I like it anyways because the formula is very good, and I can use it for nail art when my other oranges are like super safety, see you a mile away oranges. Lastly, Eclair My Love. And I fell in love with this red when I put it on, and I was like, this is so unique, but you know what? I have 3 reds that are just too close. First is Formula X Wingwoman, then e.l.f.'s Electric Pink, which isn't very pink, and e.l.f. actually isn't very easy to find either, I guess. I got these in a huge pack of like lots of mini bottles in like Ross or Marshalls, and e.l.f. just doesn't promote their nail polish line. I don't know why. This last one is Opi Cajun Shrimp, so if you have any of these already, don't bother. There's too many reds in the world anyways. And I found that Cajun Shrimp was probably the closest dupe to Eclair My Love. So having them all here, if you can't get your hands on all of them, of course, the orange is pretty good, but I'm just not a fan of oranges, and I'll probably never recommend for you to get another red because reds are just everywhere. So definitely these two are my favorites, and I really like blues and purples, and then these two being my second and third, well, third and fourth favorites, Sweet Souffle and Blue Lala. And that's pretty much it. So don't forget to subscribe and like and share and comment and give me questions and concerns and all of that stuff because I really love it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!